In this episode, we will be discussing the Indian Space Research Organization, popularly referred to as ISRO. Let us begin with a brief introduction. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, was formed in 1969 as the space agency of the Government of India. It is one of the largest space agencies in the world, headquartered in Bengaluru, Karnataka. Now, focusing on the genesis and the related timeline of formation of the ISRO. The INCOSPAR, or Indian National Committee for Space Research, was initiated in 1962 under the leadership of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai and Dr. Ramanathan, under the Department of Atomic Energy. In 1967, the first experimental satellite communication Earth station, Ahmedabad, was started. ISRO superseded the erstwhile INCOSPAR in 1969 and embarked on its mission to provide the nation space-based services and to develop the technologies to achieve the same independently. In 1972, the Government of India had set up a Space Commission and the Department of Space, bringing ISRO under the Department of Space. The chairman of ISRO is the Secretary of the Department of Space. ISRO is managed by the Department of Space, which reports to the Prime Minister of India. India's first satellite was Aryabhatta, which was built by ISRO and launched by the Soviet Union in 1975. Rohini was the first satellite to be placed in orbit by an Indian-made launch vehicle, SLV-3, in 1980. ISRO's main two rockets are Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle for launching satellites into polar orbits and Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle for placing satellites into geostationary orbits. Now let us discuss the mission of ISRO. The mission of ISRO is to design and develop launch vehicles and related technologies for providing access to space, design and development of satellites and related technologies for Earth observation, communication, navigation, meteorology, and space science. Now let us discuss important ISRO centers, starting with Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. It is the lead center of ISRO, responsible for the design and development of launch vehicle technology. The organization pursues active research and development in the field of aeronautics, avionics, vehicle integration, space physics, etc. It is located in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. It is the spaceport of India, which provides launch base infrastructure for the Indian space program. This center has the facilities for solid propellant processing, static testing of solid motors, launch vehicle integration and launch operations, range operations comprising telemetry, tracking and command network and mission control center, the National Remote Sensing Center, Hyderabad. It has the mandate for establishment of good stations for receiving satellite data, generation of data products, dissemination to the users, development of techniques for remote sensing applications including disaster management support, and geospatial services for good governance. Antrix Corporation Limited, Bengaluru. It is a private limited company owned by the Government of India and launched in September 1992 as the marketing arm of ISRO for promotion and commercial exploitation of space products, technical consultancy services and transfer of technologies developed by ISRO. It also facilitates development of space-related industrial capabilities in India. New Space India Limited. It is the second commercial arm of ISRO with the primary responsibility of enabling Indian industries to take up high technology space-related activities. Responsible for promotion and commercial exploitation of products and services emanating from the Indian space program. It differs from ISRO's existing commercial arm, Antrix Corporation. While Antrix will handle ISRO's commercial deals for satellites and launch vehicles with foreign customers, the new Space India Limited will deal with capacity building of local industry for space manufacturing. Shifting focus to the space activity. India's first rocket was launched from Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station in 1963 at Tumba in Kerala. Experimental and small satellites. These are used in the field of atmosphere studies, capsule recovery technology, remote sensing, orbit and payload controls. Important satellites: Aryabhatta X-ray astronomy and solar physics, Bhaskara hydrology and forestry, Space Capsule Recovery Experiment, SWAYAM, Geostationary Satellite System. It is used for meteorology, telecommunication, data relay, satellite television and radio. Most of the satellites have been launched by the European Space Agency, Ariane launch vehicle from Kourou in French Guyana. Important satellites: INSAT system, GSAT system. Earth Observation Satellite. These satellites use remote sensing to identify various objects on the ground without coming into physical contact with them. Important satellites: IRS satellite system, ResourceSat, Cartosat, OceanSat, RESAT, MSAT, SURL, Megatropics. Navigation satellite system. It is a satellite-based navigation system used for strategic as well as commercial purposes. The IRNSS, or the Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System, and GPS-aided Geo-Augmented Navigation, or GAGAN, are some of the examples of this system. Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. It is an independent Indian satellite-based positioning system for critical national applications. The main objective is to provide reliable position, navigation and timing services over India and its neighborhood at fairly good accuracy to the user. The IRNSS will provide basically two types of services: standard positioning service and restricted services. 3 of these satellites are in geostationary orbit, while the remaining are in geosynchronous orbits. GPS-aided Geo-Augmented Navigation, or GAGAN. It is a satellite-based augmentation service implemented jointly by ISRO and the Airport Authority of India. Provides satellite-based navigation services with accuracy and integrity required for civil aviation applications and to provide better air traffic management over Indian airspace. The system will be interoperable with other international SBAS systems and provide seamless navigation across regional boundaries. It will also be used in the railways. Now we see the space missions. The agency carries out interplanetary and outer space missions. Important missions include Chandrayaan, mission to Moon, Mangalyaan, Mars Orbiter Mission or MOM, AstroSat, and Gaganyaan. Chandrayaan 1. Chandrayaan 1, India's first mission to the Moon, was launched successfully in October 2008 from Sriharikota. It orbited around the Moon for chemical, mineralogical, and photogeological mapping of the Moon. Chandrayaan 2. Chandrayaan 2 is an advanced version of the previous Chandrayaan 1 mission to the Moon. It is configured as the 2-module system consisting of an orbiter craft module and a lander craft module carrying the rover developed by ISRO. Mangalyaan. It is ISRO's first interplanetary mission to planet Mars with an orbiter craft designed to orbit Mars in an elliptical orbit. AstroSat. It is the first dedicated Indian astronomy mission aimed at studying celestial sources in X-ray, optical and UV spectral bands simultaneously. It enables the simultaneous multi-wavelength observations of various astronomical objects with a single satellite. So far, what are the achievements of ISRO? Chandrayaan. In 2008, India became the 6th country in the world to launch a mission to Moon. PSLV and remote sensing. India is a dominant player in remote sensing and PSLV technology. Mars mission. India is the first country to reach Mars in its first attempt. GSLV Mk3. It is a crew capsule which can take human beings to space. Launching multiple satellites. ISRO launched 104 satellites using a single rocket from spaceport Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. It achieved this milestone with the help of 6 other nations using the PSLV C-37 in 2017. It also launched 31 satellites in a single stroke. GSLV F-09. ISRO launched GSLV F-09 in the year 2017. Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle Mark II made use of cryogenic upper stage. It is one of the biggest communication networks in South Asia. Navigation with Indian Constellation or NAVIC. India has been using the NAVIC or navigation with Indian Constellation for operations. It makes India one of the few countries to own a navigation system. Reusable Launch Vehicle or RLV. It is planned as a series of technology demonstration missions that have been considered as a first step towards realizing a two-stage, two-orbit, fully reusable vehicle. These technologies will be developed in phases through a series of experimental flights. Hypersonic Experiment Flight, the first in the series of experimental flights. It will be followed by the Landing Experiment, Return Flight Experiment, and Scramjet Propulsion Experiment. With this, we conclude today's episode of Important Institutions. Until next time, stay safe. Thank you. To watch our videos in Hindi, subscribe to our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS.